Hey there, everybody, and welcome to Fearless Thinking, a podcast designed to help you navigate authentic leadership and the entrepreneurial journey. I'm your host, Michael Devous, and these are my thoughts, lessons, and insights from my entrepreneurial journey into coaching, workshops, motivational speaking, and of course, what I picked up from interviews with inspiring leaders and entrepreneurs along the way. My mission is to help people unlock their untapped potential by using fear as a catalyst for powerful change and growth, so they can step into the greatest version of their most authentic selves. All right, let's get into some fearless thinking. Okay, welcome back. Fearless Thinkers to episode 32, a Fearless Thinking podcast this week, revising and redoing these episodes. Tech got in the way, which is, that's how it is, man. Walking in their shoes, the power of empathy and leadership, with a little help from the Ascend Hub. So welcome back. I am your host, Michael Devous. Today we are exploring a fundamental quality of effective leadership, and that's empathy. If you can imagine leaders who just bark their orders without considering any of their impact on their team, I mean, this lack of empathy can create a terribly cold and impersonal work environment, leading to disengagement and ultimately, of course, teams that underperform. In today's age, we are constantly seeking ways to improve our leadership, but I think more of our leadership impact. How does this resonate with our coworkers? How does this correlate to our teams? How do we build an environment where we get vastly more and better productive performance out of our team, not because we're barking orders and cracking the whip at them, but because we understand them and we're inviting them to contribute and to bring the best parts of themselves into the space and to the project and into the company. And empathy is that bridge. It is a bridge between the leader and the team with an ability to step outside of our own perspective and see things through the eyes of others. Now, we've talked about perspectives a lot, and this will keep coming up constantly because I think it's crucial not only to understand where you can get new perspectives, what you can be doing to look for new perspectives, but how you can begin to embrace as an empathic leader those alternative perspectives. First, by starting with an appreciation and a value for them, right? An empathetic leader understands and shares feelings of their team members, which ultimately fosters trust, strengthens relationships, and creates a more positive and productive work environment. So think about it this way. How would you feel if you had a boss or a leader who never actually considered your workload, your concerns, your ideas, your thoughts? It may be difficult for you to remember that feeling you had when you were coming up through the ranks and you felt kind of unseen, unheard, and unappreciated. Empathy is about creating a space where your team feels valued, heard, and understood. That's your job. That's your role. That's your. I know that as leaders, we're jumping in now as almost therapists, but it is crucial for us if we really want to know and understand our team, if we really want them to really fly at their highest, to be their best. I think it's crucial that we attempt every time we can to understand them. Leadership isn't about titles or positions or flow charts. It's about one life influencing another. That's from John Maxwell, by the way. And the Ascend Hub online membership community, can help cultivate your empathy muscle by empowering us to develop ways to become a more effective leader, utilizing some of the resources, assets, and programming that we will be developing at the Ascend Hub. One is emotional intelligence assessments. one of the things we are going to be putting into the membership platform, not just for our members, but for our leaders as well, are these assessments where we can gain valuable insights into our emotional intelligence, our biases, our leadership style through our own self assessments and our feedback mechanisms. Um, I think it's going to be interesting when we get to the point where our leaders can review our members can review our leaders. I think that's going to be a fascinating thing to do because a lot of these leaders that are coming on board are fairly well established, but also seeking an opportunity to grow. And getting that feedback, I feel like a lot of them, they feel like where they are, they're just not getting enough honest feedback. And I feel like at the Ascend Hub, that's going to be easier for the members to provide. There's not a job relationship there. There's not a contract agreement in place. There's not a, you know what I mean? That part of the relationship's not established there. So the freedom to really speak your mind about that leadership and their leadership styles, and things they could do to improve, I think members will be valuable, very valuable at helping us guide our leaders to be better, at leading. Mentorship for and from empathetic leaders. The Ascend Hub will help connect with experienced mentors. A lot of these leaders will be stepping into mentorship roles. A lot of members will now be stepping into mentee roles. A lot of aspiring entrepreneurs and members will be stepping into mentor roles as they get through the programming and through the Ascend Hub and grow with us. There will be those opportunities to give back, those opportunities to really have greater impact. And when you can share your experiences with one another by fostering empathy within your team, you can create learning experiences that catapult our successes, help us overcome our challenges, and gain practical strategies to begin implementing these within our own leadership approach, your own leadership approach, where you take that back to your spaces, to your jobs, to your companies and organizations. Another thing we're going to have is building your empathy toolkit. As I've mentioned previously, the Ascend Hub, every leader has an exchange thread. Think of it as a space, and that space has its own library of content. And so we will have access to a library of curated resources designed specifically to strengthen our emotional intelligence. We'll start putting together both the assessment, obviously tests, as well as other types of content you can both watch and read, to help gain valuable insights on our own emotional intelligence, to explore that framework for active listening, communication and techniques that foster open dialogue, and strategies that build trust within the team. I worked recently with this incredible person, Liberty Madison, and Iori Sephora. I'm going to say her last name wrong. Iori. I'll just leave it at that. We did an event. We worked in an event, their company specialized in coaching these executive leaders in New York City for this pretty big event. I don't know that we're free to talk about who we worked with yet, but one of the things that both of them did that I just thought was really brilliantly done. We complemented each other really well. My background coming from mostly theater stage work as well as live performances and some improv theater work. And theirs really coming from active listening and dialoguing techniques. And the things that they were able to share, the way they were able to help these leaders and these executives and these panelists really open up and share and have really impactful, valuable dialogues during this live event and leading up to it for the training sessions was so amazing. I'm hoping to get them involved with the Ascend Hub as well. And I feel like that's going to be one of the places that we really look at trying to figure out how to develop and create workshops. They'll probably be very familiar to the improv community, and those are ways we can really train ourselves on active listening. It's so much fun. You got to try it. It'll be fun. We'll do it. We'll have it in there. Empathy in action for a leader who listens. The former CEO of PepsiCo, Indra Nooyi, was known, pretty well known for her empathetic leadership style. She had a lot of practical, active listening training for her team members, and loved to prioritize their well being. Her approach fostered a culture in the company of really great innovation and collaboration that led to one of PepsiCo's significant growth specifically under her leadership. So there's a case study there for showing where something that's not tangible has actionable KPIs on the other side, right? Benefits that we can see, feel, and touch for the company, all the way to the bottom line. Empathy isn't just about understanding emotions, although I think that's a very big part of it, and it's an important part to understand emotions. But it is about taking action. And at the Ascend Hub, we will do our best to equip you with the tools and resources to translate empathetic listening, actionable listening, collaborative listening into leadership practices that you can take back to benefit your teams and your businesses. And developing those skills, there are some practical tips that you can start working on today. Practice active listening. Pay close attention to both verbal and nonverbal cues when your team members communicate. One of the things you could do, I mean, if you were so inclined and you love these things, go take an improv class. Find one near you. Join it. I swear, as a leader, as an individual, if you're not a leader yet and you would like to be, or you're training or whatever, or you're coming up through the ranks as an aspiring entrepreneur or mentor, take an improv class. I am telling you, it is a game changer for self-confidence. It is a game changer for connecting with other people. And it really makes you, I don't want to be kind of cocky about this, but it does make you really stand out in a room full of people. You can really participate in a way that's even more meaningful than it was before. You have the gift of gab. You have the ability to engage with people and find out what's interesting and funny about them, and jump in, make people feel comfortable having conversations when they might not otherwise step up. And sometimes we look to our leaders to guide us where that's concerned. Another one is ask open-ended questions. That's what Iori and Liberty did a lot of, these wonderful open-ended questions, encouraging members and people to share their thoughts and their feelings and their concerns very freely, but also sort of expound on them, give us clarification about where they were coming from and how they were thinking and feeling when they were making certain statements, so that we could really get into the really good, juicy stuff about what was meaningful for them and the messages they wanted to convey. Putting yourself in other people's shoes. Now, trying to understand the challenges and the pressures that other people face is really trying to get a perspective shift. Sometimes we get so far away from those struggles, so far away from what people are experiencing, that we forget what it's like, right, to be where they are. And sometimes having that reminder really helps us understand why they might be struggling and how we can better help them. In so doing, show compassion, be understanding, and be supportive when team members are going through challenging and difficult times. As I mentioned in my last episode, I just went through my own, having to say goodbye to a very dear friend of mine, and really support the family and everybody at the celebration of life. I'm still carrying that pain with me, you know what I mean? So I'm still sensitive, and I've got to give myself the grace and the understanding that that could impact the way I hear, the way that I communicate, and the way that I interact with other people. I might have a short fuse. I might be on edge, you know? So I think it's important to understand that all of us have other lives and things going on outside that impact our ability to, you know, be empathetic, to be compassionate, to be understanding, right? Maybe you can help with other people if you're the first to step up and allow people to understand that that's okay. Empathy is a powerful tool, can be a very powerful tool, which can elevate your leadership experience. And by helping you to understand your team, fostering a culture of empathy, you get to create a thriving work environment, not just where everybody feels valued and motivated and empowered to succeed, but I think a sense of belonging. I think that's important. Ascend Hub will attempt to create that and be your partner on that journey, to find ways to create belonging, to find ways to nurture collaborative connectivity, meaningful connections that actually help us get to and create that thriving environment. So share your experiences about empathetic leadership with us, of course, please, at Fearless Thinking, hashtag empathy and leadership, or hashtag empathetic leadership. I don't know which one's harder to type. Leave me a message, like, subscribe, do all those wonderful things. And if you could give me a great review, or just a good review, any kind of review, I'll take it. I'd love a review. Feedback is important, and that's crucial, and that's what we want. And we'll be building more of that in the Ascend Hub too. So just as a reminder, empathy is a cornerstone of leadership, good leadership. And at the Ascend Hub, by your side, we will help develop these skills and these strategies to connect better with our teams on a deeper level, and build more success inside our organization, right? So thanks for joining me, episode 32. Yeah, I really love this. Okay, I'm excited. Week 7, we're off and running. Check out the Ascend Hub. Look for the links. The big discount is happening. It's starting, I think, this week. theascendhub.com. Look for those specials. 75% off. A limited number of seats. They're going to go so fast because we're not going to give 75% off forever, and we're not giving it away to everybody. It's just a very select few individuals that are actually going to be able to get in at this level. So yeah, make sure you take advantage of it. I didn't turn off my notifications. I apologize about that. So anyway, the Ascend Hub is coming. Remember, do some fearless thinking this week. Be compassionate. Be an empathetic leader. Find your heart and offer it to others so that they can grow, learn, and embrace others. Be the best they can. That's what our job is, to help raise others up and make their lives better. Any way we can as leaders. So yeah, do some fearless thinking, and I will see you guys on the other side. Okay, bye.